All right, Pro Day. Tony, you're heading out to check out not necessarily just everybody that's eligible for the NFL draft this year, but doing a little reverse scouting on your part.
Yeah, Will Howard and Devin Brown, the Ohio State quarterbacks, will be throwing for the Ohio State draft eligible players who will be working out, which will not include Marvin Harrison, but will include Xavier Johnson, Cade Stover, Mayan Williams, some former Buckeyes. I believe Sam Wiglusz is supposed to be there as well, the OU, Ohio University wide receiver. So it is always interesting. Every year they'll have some current Buckeyes just fill things out, or even some past former Buckeyes. I think we've seen Troy Smith and Cardale Jones throw at pro day a couple of years after their time. And we saw Brian Hartline in maybe like 2017, 2018 running routes on pro day, 2018, 2019. Yeah, running routes for whatever quarterback at that time, maybe Dwayne Haskins. I don't even remember. But getting to see Devin Brown and Will Howard unleash it, because they do throw a bunch of different routes. And we've only seen them throw basic routes in practice in the 2 days that we've seen, like little out routes and flare passes. So we'll get to see them really throw the ball 50 yards down the field and make all of the necessary judgments on who should be starting, who should be playing, who is terrible and who is not. And God forbid they both look poor, because then Ohio State fans will begin to panic. But we'll get to go see that, and not a huge exciting day of pro day, and it's never all that productive, because Ohio State doesn't necessarily tell you anything. You've got to track guys down. You guys aren't necessarily willing to tell you how they did if they did not do well. So it's kind of chaotic. But sometimes you can grab people and get some information from them. But it is some chaos going on once this whole thing ends at like 3:00 this afternoon.
Yeah, I think there's 9 Ohio State guys who are going to be there. Marvin allegedly could appear. He's not done many or any interviews, so I think it'll be interesting. I saw something today where they're trying to move the LSU guy ahead of him. My daughter saw a mock where he, quote unquote, fallen to number 4 behind 3 quarterbacks. And I'm like, well, quarterbacks are where it's at. I mean, that's where everybody wants to put all the eggs in their basket, and the wide receivers are kind of dime a dozen. I mean, just look at the Browns. They swap out their wide receiver core just about every year. So to me, I think he's got great value. I think he's got tremendous value. I think he's a guy that's going to play 12 or 14 years in the league if he's healthy and play at a very high level. And he's going to do well wherever he goes. I don't have any doubt about that. He's a professional. He works at it so hard. And, he's going to outwork the competition. And that's what you have to do in the NFL. That's how Hartline made it 7 or 8 years. You just grind and you outwork the competition. And so, I don't worry about him. I look at people like Eichenberg and Chambers and Proctor and Matthew Jones. I mean, these are 4 guys there that, are just kind of there and really need to do something to differentiate themselves from the rest of the group. I think Eichenberg's probably a mid-round pick. The rest of them are all late-round picks if they get drafted. Mayan, with his health situation, I don't think he's going to get drafted. I think he's not working out or anything. So he had a really bad condition with the cartilage in his knee that required surgery, I believe. So he's going to be hoping to latch on somewhere as an undrafted free agent, get healthy, and then maybe by the start of preseason camp be able to do some things. So hope all's well for him. Stover will be interesting to watch today because he's a man's man. He'll probably go out there and he's going to break a sweat today. I have a good guess. He's going to get a little dirty there on the field turf inside the Woody Hayes Center, and going to show some people what he can do. So I'm interested, as Tony said, to watch Brown and Howard throw to him, as well as Xavier Johnson. I think Xavier Johnson could be a great special teams player in the NFL, maybe a returner, hard to say. But, don't sleep on Xavier Johnson. He's going to be a great undrafted free agent for somebody. with a chance to make a team if something fell that way. So a lot of guys out there, Mike Hall, defensive tackle, as he put it at the combine, he's going pro because he had to. In his mind, he had to. He had a kid, needed to start providing for his kid. And that can be a tough situation for a young guy to be put into, but he's approaching it like, this is my job. This is my life now. This is what I have to do for my family. And I think we've only seen him kind of scratch the surface. I mean, if you look at the box score and see over 2 years, he had like 8 tackles for loss or something. I mean, like very, very, he had one great game there a couple of years ago, and it just hasn't been a lot of what we consider production, on a piece of paper that you can see. He hadn't been available a lot, but I think he's a guy that, if healthy, mid-round pick, take a chance, hope he's healthy, and, hope that he can do this. Tommy Togi, I tried this, 2 or 3 years ago, lasted 2 or 3 years. I don't even know if he's still on a team anymore. The Browns had him for a couple of years. So, kind of the Tommy Togi path here, where one more year at Ohio State would have really helped him potentially. And we'll see if Hall can do better.
I know Mike Hall did really some good things in the Senior Bowl practices and impressed a lot of people there. So with his quickness, it's always going to impress people. But yeah, like the bulk of his production at Ohio State in terms of statistics came against in 2 games, Notre Dame and Michigan State in like 2022. And it just he hasn't been able to replicate that. But there's no denying his quickness. And so there are going to be some teams that really, really like him and maybe take I've seen possibilities of him even sneaking into the second round if there's a run on defensive tackles and you want that guy. I think Xavier Johnson, he didn't get invited to the combine. So this is his combine. This is his opportunity to get seen by all of the NFL teams and up close and talk to them. Because I guarantee if you talk to him, you're going to love the guy. And I think he still holds the record for the player with the longest interview session of about 45 minutes one time, just because people kept talking to him and he didn't want to leave. You're not going to have that much time with the NFL teams, but that's a guy that he's just reliable. And I think coaches really like that.